Welcome, Best, to our podcast. Very simple format, and I'd like to introduce you formally to our subscribers and our viewers. Best Gonzalez from TikTok. Not TikTok Shop. Alamin natin kung bakit hindi sa TikTok Shop. But our conversation tonight, simple lang. How did TikTok start? How was it in the Philippines?
In the Philippines?
Yes.
Yeah, so I think so let's go to the mission of TikTok, right? So the mission of TikTok is to
Change the world.
inspire creativity. Actually not that ambitious. It's inspire creativity and bring joy, right? So that's why when you are on TikTok, the experience that you should have is joy. So that's why sometimes nagtatanong yung iba like, bakit yung ibang types of content they don't get viral? Maybe because they don't bring joy, diba? So that's the very mission of TikTok, is to bring joy, inspire creativity and bring joy. So how do we get people there, right? So there's three things that our CEO would always say. So number one is, TikTok is a canvas to create, right? So content creators, right? All of us, we have you open the app and it allows you to express yourself, your creativity, authentically, to basically to tell the world who you are and your talents, right? So canvas to create. Number two is a window to discover. So when you open the TikTok app, you discover so many things, whether it's about cooking, whether it's about the underwaters of the Philippines, whether it's about how to solve homework. So you are the TikTok app allows you to discover all of the best of the Philippines and also of the rest of the world, right? And the most important thing for us is really a bridge to connect. And when we say a bridge to connect, it connects creator with his community. Like you mentioned, a seller with his buyers. And even I would even say, in my role as government relations, it connects a bridge to connect between TikTok and our government partners. And
What's your official title?
So my official title is Head of Public Policy for the Philippines. So in that role, I take care of the relationship with the government. I take care of the relationship with civil society, whether it's the child rights groups, human rights groups, as well as, of course, in general, even academe as well. And, to share about the values and beliefs of TikTok as a company and as an app.
Why is it called TikTok? Bakit TikTok? Parang it's a very Filipino term, but at the same time, it's also international. Saan galing yung TikTok na pangalan?
I think the founders, they just found it that it's very catchy, right? I mean, I think the previous to that, the word is the sound of the clock is TikTok, right? That's the sound of the clock, right? But I think the founders, they just found it as a very catchy name, and I think TikTok started as a very music platform. That's the origin. It has
Parang
very
Spotify.
It has very not naman Spotify per se. It's not a music app, but it had music as its roots, as part of it. So that's why when you look at the logo now, right, it's a note. It's a note,
Tama.
basically, right? So music is part of the origins and the DNA of the company, and I think the name is just something that the founders came up with because on a global level, it's easy to remember and it resonates.
Sinong kalaban ng TikTok? In the Philippines muna, bago tayo mag-global. Who are the competitors? Sino yung mga lumalaban in that creativity space?
Well, of course, I think, I would consider it our industry peers, right? Our industry
tama.
peers,
There's a
right?
better
So, for example, on the video sharing space, you have YouTube, you have Netflix, I guess is also on the social aspects, you have Facebook, and then on the e-commerce side, on the TikTok shop side, you also have our Shopee and Lazada as our
So
industry
hindi
peers.
siya head-to-head comparison. Iba-ibang dimensions ang...
That's correct. So yun nga, parang TikTok is very unique in its value proposition and in what you can do within the app, right? So apples to apples, it's very unique in that sense na when you open the app, the kind of experience you can get from within the app is something you can only get there and nothing else, nowhere else.
So is TikTok number one in the Philippines? You can be biased.
I think the answer to that is that we're happy at the growth that we're experiencing, both
Can you share the growth story? Meron bang tayong stats that
in the Philippines?
Yeah.
So while I'm unable to share usage numbers, what I can share with you, let's say, for example, on the TikTok shop side, right? So one of the narratives on the TikTok shop, one of the things we're happy about on the TikTok shop side is that 90% of the sellers on TikTok shop are local. Local, meaning to say these are MSMEs in the Philippines.
Is that by design or nagkataon lang?
It's part of who we are as a platform, and it's part of, again, when who you are as a platform, the values that are important to you, you invest in that, right? So we have programs that really invest on growing our local MSME ecosystem.
And then, I think a lot of questions that we're getting is, paano maging viral sa TikTok?
Good question. So again, let's start with what is the difference of TikTok as a platform, right? So at TikTok, it's not about how many followers you have, right? So in other platforms, you need to increase your followers
FB.
to millions,
Yes.
and basically that's how you become viral. On the TikTok platform, one of the things is really, it's all about the content that you create. You could sign up today, have a good content, and the algorithm, the system, the platform will surface your content to as many people as it can. And then when people are engaging and they're saying, oh, this is good, you can have millions of views, not because you had millions of followers, but because your content was appreciated by millions of users.
So
And
parang one hit wonder.
not naman, but it's more, again, it's not, I wouldn't say one hit wonder, because we've seen people that when you create one piece of good content, it means there's something inside you that's innately, you can also do another one and another one and another one. And so again, you don't
So
need
hindi siya longitudinal in the sense na dapat may XYZ ka bago ganito.
I would say you don't need to have millions of followers. That's, again, it's all about the heart of the product is content that brings joy, right? So as long as your piece of content, whether it's let's say it's a singing content, dancing, humorous, life hacks, that's super uso, right? Fashion content, as long as your piece of content, the content you put out there brings joy to other people, that's, in a sense, that's the secret recipe for success. Yun talaga yun, na you need to bring joy to
Alam
people.
ba ng mga creators yan?
Yes, I think so. I think so.
Are you sharing a secret or it's something that everybody
Again, it's not even a secret, right? So again, it starts with the mission, right? I would even say, when somebody asks me, bakit yung content namin hindi nagva-viral sa TikTok pero nagva-viral sa other platforms? I always go back to the mission. Does the content bring joy? Yun naman yun. Again, it's not a secret because it's part of our mission statement,
Okay,
diba?
so yung when you said uso, can you give us yung uso as of June 2026? Ano yung mga uso?
So,
How do you know it's uso? How do I know it's uso?
I think number one is if I would say if our kids are doing it, right? So I don't know if you're familiar with yung 6-7, di ba? So it came to the point, it was uso with our kids 6 months ago, up to the point that today you will see TikToks of the Pope doing the 6-7 move, right?
So uso is trending.
Yes.
Anong difference ng trending tsaka viral?
Oh, good question, right? I think I would say that if it's trending, other people are also doing it, right? So for example, there's a
hindi lang
hand
ikaw.
gesture, di ba? But viral, it could be just because either there's a viral something unique happened, or oftentimes it's viral that something unexpected or unfortunate happened. So, and nobody's doing it, nobody's copying it, right? So I think trending requires that there's a community around the piece of content or the piece of the activity.
Sige.
Virality is just about something is surprising, delightful, unexpected, but it could just die off very quickly.
Sa logic naman, are all viral videos trending or are all trending videos going to be viral? Either or both or hindi?
I would say there's an overlap, right? There's an overlap, right? It could just be viral for one day and then one day lang, and then after a while the planet has moved on, right? So you wouldn't say you're trending, right? But again, I feel like trending requires sustained, right? You can't be trending for one day. Maybe again for one day viral ka lang.
Weeks, months?
Again, depends on what kind of this. Is it a dance trend? Is it a hand gesture trend? Is it? I'll give you an example on TikTok Shop, right? We have what we feel is one of our favorite trends, which is buy local. Now, buy local is a trend that as a Filipino, you decide you want to buy local products only. So when you are on your e-commerce platform, you make it a conscious choice to say, I will buy local goods. And so given a choice, you will buy local. Now, I would say that's a trend. And that's been a trend. I think TikTok Shop has had that trend happening for the past 2 years, 3 years. And again, that's not a short form trend. It's a sustained trend, right? Now, every once in a while, you might have a local product that gets virality and suddenly has a spike in views and purchases.
Okay.
But for me, the underlying trend there is the buying local aspect.
Sige. So, going back, ano yung uso ngayon? 2026 mid-year.
Sa TikTok.
Sa TikTok, oh.
So of course, on TikTok, of course, I would say there's categories, right? So we have TikTok Live, where in TikTok Live, it's all about singing, dancing, entertaining, showing your talents, right? So TikTok Live as a platform, live streaming where people are giving you gifts, that is in itself a unique place, right? On the main TikTok app, I would say, for example, life hacks, fashion is always on thing. Again, I would tell you that ang uso sa TikTok are always things that either bring joy to the user, to the watcher, or feeling niya na enrich yung buhay niya. So again, these are your life hacks na sometimes may life hack na hindi naman nagdadala ng joy sa'yo. Pero nung feeling mo, nung natutunan mo yun, hey, this is something that has enriched me as a person. So that's on TikTok, those are the kinds of content that we feel we see are the ones that actually take off and become successful.
If the mission is to create, to allow for joy, bakit ang ikli? Why do you keep it so short? Immense joy, dapat forever.
Good question. So again, at TikTok now, of course, when we started, it was very much the snackable, bite-sized pieces of content, right? So these are like you have 2 minutes in your day, you want a booster, basically para kailangan mo lang ng picker-upper. So sometimes pag nagkape tayo, di ba, parang picker-upper. So on TikTok, that's what created the platform, these short-form, snackable, bite-sized pieces of content. And what we've seen is that you don't need, not all the time you need long forms of content. Like, there are moments when you just need a quick life hack and 10 seconds kaya, di ba? But there are also times that you need something long form. And so at TikTok, you also can now watch long form pieces of content. Meron na rin.
Bago
Hindi
yan,
naman, relatively maybe in the past couple of years lang, but it's also there. And so ako, for example, yung pieces of content ko, yung TikTok account ko, mostly are my Senate or House speeches, and normally long form yon, di ba? Now, I can also chop that up into smaller pieces, yung bite size, di ba? So, it's up to me as a creator kung ano yung magiging style ko, di ba? So, on TikTok, there are now either short form as well as medium length formats for the content that's successful on the platform.
So, can you describe for us, Pater, algorithm? Of course, we don't have to go to the technical side of it. But what it is, a lot of people hear it, people think automatically of math. What is algorithm in terms of the platform and specifically for TikTok? What is this algorithm about?
Sure. Okay, so to simplify it, 'di ba? Para klaro siya, 'di ba? So at the end of the day, all content, sabi nga math 'yan 'di ba? Pero how do we put it in terms na mas madaling maintindihan, 'di ba? So let's say merong 10 videos na pinakita sa akin si TikTok. 5 doon nagustuhan ko. Yung 5 hindi ko nagustuhan, meaning hindi ko siya ni-like or mabilis ko lang siya na pinatabi, 'di ba? So yung system, yung 5 yon, sasabihin niya, gusto ni Eves tong 5 to, 'di ba? Now, same thing with you. Ikaw rin, meron kang 10 videos, yung 5 doon nagustuhan mo, tapos sasabihin ng system, teka lang, gusto niya to, baka magustuhan din ni Indy tong 5 to na nagustuhan ni Eves kasi meron silang commonalities, 'di ba? So ultimately, itong simple act of comparing what a person likes and doesn't like, engages and doesn't engages, ito, dalawa pa lang tayo, di ba? But when you multiply that into millions of users, then that's when the algorithm kicks in a sense na itong video na nagustuhan ni Eves na tungkol sa F1, malamang magugustuhan niya rin yung tungkol sa motoring or tungkol sa NASCAR na nagustuhan ni Indy, di ba? Something like that. So again, it's all about, and that's the beauty of TikTok, na it's not about who you know, who you're connected with. That's a factor, but ultimately, the most important factor in TikTok are your interests, right? Ano yung bagay na nagpapasaya sa'yo? Because as a user, you express that by engaging on the content, di ba? So, pag parati mong pinaparati mong hina-heart or sinesave yung mga like ako nga, F1 piece of content. Alam ni TikTok na, mahilig sa F1 to. Baka malamang mahilig din to sa Ferrari, malamang mahilig din to sa Red Bull, di ba? And so, the platform is all about what are your interests, which you can either express through your searches, express through what you watch, what you can tell the system what you don't like. You can also tell the system, hindi ako mahilig sa mga, hindi ako mahilig sa mga bags. So I can say, I don't like this, diba? So you can customize your feed, your For You feed, what we call it, based on what interests you.
And then, with popularity comes responsibility.
Of course.
Yun yung kasabihin natin ngayon.
Of course.
So, kung marami nang gumagamit, marami nang ganitong issues, what are the problems now? Kasi yun yung narinig natin eh. If we have the same algorithm based on interest, naging yes men, naging same thinking, naging echo chamber. Diba? If you like reds, naging reds. If you like greens, naging yellow. Wala ka ng ibang kulay, naging monotonous na. Okay lang yung sa kulay. Pero yung interest, yung thinking, especially when it comes to mga politics, ibang usapan yan. What is the roadmap there?
That's a good question. So I think I would say na at TikTok, of course, we're conscious of that reality. That's something that the public talks about, right? So mapapansin mo rin with TikTok, every once in a while, it will throw something new to your feed. Na bigla na lang suddenly, let's say, sa feed ko, bigla na lang may tungkol sa mga baby buffalo.
Totally out of...
Baby buffalo. I've never engaged in any buffalo content, but suddenly...
Algorithm din to.
Algorithm din. So basically, this is where the trending piece comes in, right? So, the baby buffalo was trending on TikTok, and then suddenly, sasabihin ng algorithm, offer kaya natin kay Ibs, pakita kaya natin, magugustuhan kaya niya. So, bibigyan ka din ng things that are outside of your usual scope of interest, right? And again, this is where math comes in. It's about we also prevent people from just living in their own bubble by throwing
Is that consciously sa algorithm?
It's part of the design.
Because you want to throw people off, you want to give them surprises. Is it part of the joy mantra, or is it to fight the yes thinking? Ano yung parameters nitong throwing new things?
I think a big part of it is really that part of joy is discovering new things, right? Part of it would be a very boring feed if all you see are the things that you are always just, let's say ako, puro F1 lang, that's not gonna give me joy. After a while, so the algorithm, again, based on what we've learned from the millions of users, every once in a while, you really do have to insert things that are totally new to that individual, right? And again, out of a feed of 10, mag-try ka ng dalawa, nagustuhan niya yung isa, then you realize, mahilig din pala siya sa baby buffaloes, for example, diba? So, part of joy is not just living in a small bubble, but also, especially as a platform, discovery is one of our biggest, most important things. Like, you discover things that you've never heard of, you've never realized you would like.
Is that done by other platforms, or is that unique to TikTok?
I can't speak for other platforms, but for me, I understand that that's one of the biggest differentiators of TikTok. Na yun nga, na you can start on the platform with no connections, you don't have friends, but the platform as a new user will serve you a first piece of 10 pieces of content. You engage in 3, and then after a while, the platform learns how you are. And then again, even without adding any friends yet, even without following any celebrities yet, or basta you tell the platform what you are interested in by, again, through your engagement interactions with the app, the platform will learn your likes and what you don't like and start becoming better. Of course, this gets better over time, right? Sa simula, medyo hit and miss pa yan. But as if you've been using the platform for a couple of months, then mas alam na niya yung mga interests mo.
Which means it goes now to the idea of privacy.
Okay.
Paano yung angulo niyan? Parang, wow, wala na bang sikreto? Alam na ng algorithm everything that I like, I dislike. Hindi ba maging problematic yan from a privacy perspective?
Good question, right? So of course, couple of things there, right? So number one, of course, is that we only know what you tell us, right? So whether it's you like it or you swipe up. So basically, and that's what we know, what the signals that you tell the app, right? So whether you save content, you can even manually say na I don't like this piece of content, right? So the signals are coming from you as a user. You're telling us that. That's number one, right? Number two is actually you can even reset. So there's a option to reset your algorithm.
So, saan nga
So
yan? Saan
within
nga
the
yun?
settings of TikTok,
Can you quickly guide through us? I've never heard of this. Yung reset
hindi ko
button.
lang alam. Maybe we can show some like through through supers,
Infographic.
right? Diba?
Sige,
But
sige,
basically,
gawin
you can
natin yan.
actually reset your algorithm. You can start from zero. So
at
parang
any point.
At any point, sabi mo, parang di ko nagugustuhan tong feed ko, puro F1 na lang. I will reset it. So it resets everything, right? You're not happy with your feed anymore, you can reset. And again, you can tweak. You can expressly tell it, I only want motorsports, I only want this, I only want that, diba? Yeah, but so ultimately, you are in control of your data. And you have full control whether on other aspects of privacy naman, right? So for example, on direct messaging, when we talk about youth safety, right? So on direct messaging, for example, if you're a user and you're under 16 years old, so you're 13 to 15 years old, which we allow on our platform, walang direct messaging. So by default, we have safety
Bawal.
by design defaults na to protect our younger
16.
users, right? So direct messaging only comes in at 16, diba?
Bakit hindi 18? Minors versus no longer minors.
So, well, that's not the... So, we believe at TikTok na meron tayong tinatawag na age-appropriate experiences, right? So, in our current setup, meron tayong age-appropriate experience for 13 to 15.
This is
Meron
different for
tayong-
each country. Or universal to.
In a sense, it's universal, but of course, there could be minor tweaks based on regulations in that country.
In the
right?
Philippines, what is
So, in the Philippines, we're using the more universal model because we're still in the process of crafting the child safety laws together with Congress. And so, our default for the Philippines is, so number one, we allow you for 13 years old, pwede ka na mag-account. From 13 to 15,
And that's age verified. Mag-ID, mag-ano. How do
so
you verify?
we don't ask for your ID on sign up, but what we do is we look for signals. So this is something I told Congress. So it's
Algorithm pa rin.
yes, algorithm pa rin. So signals on on content you create, content you consume, and the communities you keep. Right? So what does that mean? So sabi mo 18 ka na pero yung connections mo puro 13 years old. Diba? So
okay,
that's a signal na parang maybe hindi ka 18 talaga, diba? Or sabi mo
Then it shuts you down.
Sabi mo 13 will shut you down if you're 12 and below. So for example, sabi mo 15 ka. Pero yung content mo, puro 9-year-old child yung nagpapakita sa content mo. That's a signal na
Can
9
you
years
appeal?
old. Yes, of course you can.
Pwede.
So you can naman. So for example, parent ka at ang content na pinupost mo is yung 9-year-old child mo na shut down yung account mo dahil ikaw yung parent. Pwede ka mag-appeal. Pwede mo
But
sabihin
can you
na
actually show minors, 9-year-old? Because that's one of the long-standing discussion eh. Kung ikaw yung bata ka pa, wala kang say. Di ba? Ginawa kang quote-unquote endorser, ginawa kang model.
content, ginawa kang content.
And then, but wala ka namang consent in any way. Pwede ba yan? Will TikTok at least lend a helping hand to a helpless child?
In the Philippines, I think at the moment we in a sense the parent is the consenting authority, right? So let's say if it's the parent, so let's say si parent 35 years old, yung TikTok niya karamihan sa content niya yung minor child niya, in a sense karapatan niya 'yon, 'di ba? But of course it's different if it's kapitbahay. For example, kapitbahay yung 35-year-old na kapitbahay, naglalaro yung bata, binivideohan niya, tapos 9-year-old yung bata, tapos ina-upload ng kapitbahay sa TikTok, that could be a violation of privacy and that could be removed, di ba? Because syempre yung kapitbahay wala naman siyang authority or right to put the 9-year-old on his TikTok account, di ba? So
Because
depende
alam
rin.
mo, we know of situations where yung mothers, biological mother, yung nanay mismo, posting sexually explicit, maski hindi sexually explicit, sexually suggestive photos of children, male or female. Ano naman yung approach? Do we shut them down? Do we warn them? How do we Or do we just ignore? Ano yung parameters niyan?
Sure.
So,
So
these are actual
yeah.
situations.
Yes. So I'll start my answer with number one, of course, we comply with local law requirements, right? So meron tayong batas on OSAIC, and so definitely
You have to spell out OSAIC for our viewers.
online sexual abuse and exploitation of children, right? So anti-OSAIC law, meron tayong batas dyan na I think it was 2 or 3 years ago na update, di ba? So ano yung requirements noon, gagawin namin. So let me walk you through that. So the moment pa lang na tinry mong mag-upload ka ng video. So nag-upload ka ng video na OSAIC siya. So meron kang either suggestive or may pinakita na, the system will number one stop that from being uploaded. So hindi na yun agad, kumbaga yun kasi madali yun gamitan ng AI to detect and to stop. Right? So unang-una pa lang hindi na yun ma-upload. So that's number one. Number two, meron kami reporting requirements. So si TikTok, nagre-report yan. Pag ganyan, may nag-attempt ng OSAIC upload, di ba? TikTok will...
This is also algorithm.
Combination. So the detection is algorithm, but of course you need to validate and verify that, right? So magkakaroon ka rin ng human intervention. It's always a combination naman yan. So
Sa Pilipino din. Or it could
so
be-
we have trust and safety teams all over the world. And so, you don't necessarily need, let's say, may nag-upload ng 3 a.m. Gusto mo ba na kailangan may gising na Pilipino, di ba? So, all over the world. So, again, this
But different content, different standards.
but when you talk about child safety is child safety, right? Most of that. So when you talk about, we might different standards when it comes to other issues, right? But when it comes to OSAIC or what is more globally known as CSAM, Child Sexual Abuse Materials, global yan. Walang, kumbaga, there's no a minor CSAM is a minor CSAM all over the world, right?
Universal.
And so on the side of TikTok, the moment ma-detect na nag-try ka mag-upload ng CSAM material or in the Philippines OSAIC material, i-report yan sa National Center for Missing and Exploited Children or what we call NECMEC. So si NECMEC ngayon, siya yung
That's a US-based
That's US-based, nagre-report dyan si TikTok and our other industry peers, di ba? So NECMEC ngayon, papadala niya yung kanyang mga cyber tips yata yung tawag doon to the Philippines DOJ Office of Cybercrime. And basically, si Office of Cybercrime ngayon, siya
Parang familiar yan sa akin.
Yeah, but you might have heard of it, 'di ba? Sila ngayon yung magdadala ngayon nitong itong ebidensya na to, itong incident na to. Sila ngayon magde-determine whether a Filipino child is in danger and to try to either save the child or file the appropriate cases there. So, when it comes to OSAIC, also known as CSAM, we are very proud of the work that we do there because that's one of the things that we super take that seriously. We super take that to heart. And
So, in the year to 2026, January to today, what's our stats? Meron ba tayong makaka-share? Did
So-
we prevent or stop or actually enforce our standards? Meron ba tayong mga numbers that we can share?
so si TikTok, similar to our other industry peers, we publish quarterly transparency reports.
How do we access those reports?
So, maybe do a Google search for
Ilagay
TikTok
din natin
transparency
sa,
reports.
sa runner
Oo,
natin.
diba? So, so you can find it on TikTok's website. So, we publish quarterly
Is that
transparency reports.
a requirement or voluntary?
I think it's industry practice. It's industry best practice, right? Na
Quarterly.
quarterly, and then it gives you the details on, in a sense, ano yung enforcement numbers ni TikTok as a whole, and even a little bit granular on this issue, that issue. So updated yun every quarter, and again, when a legislator asks me, I refer them to the transparency reports.
And then going to the next topic, medyo masalimuot in the sense that involves a bit of math. Tax. Yung tax sa TikTok, what is it? I mean on the content. May tax ba yan once you make money or when you sell goods? I hear there's a VAT component. Ano ba yung regulation on that?
Yeah, so two things there, right? So number one, on the shop side, on the TikTok shop side. So TikTok shop is actually a local entity. We have a local entity in the Philippines.
So straightforward. It's like any store.
Correct. So, mean to say, it's a platform. It's a platform. We don't sell our own goods. So, we are a platform that provides services to buyers and sellers, basically, right? So, yung local entity of TikTok Shop that fully complies with all the requirements of BIR, right? On the user-generated side.
because the local entity will make profit from the buy and sell.
Correct.
So
Or
that one
from
is
the-
subject
from being a
to
platform, correct.
whatever local tax.
Correct.
Okay.
And so, for example, one of the requirements of the BIR is to withhold 1%. So, out of every transaction happening on the TikTok Shop platform, one of the requirements of BIR is to withhold 1% from the seller as, and remit it
As
to
a
the BIR.
platform, is TikTok responsible for the goods? Meron bang right of recourse against the platform? Nakabili ka ng na fake ka, na scam ka. Is there right of recourse? Diba? There's always that
Sure.
portion.
Yeah,
Some
so-
people will say, I'm just platform, wala ako dyan.
Sure. So we deal with this on a day-to-day basis, right? So of course, ultimately, as a platform, in a buying and selling transaction, if the issue is with the seller, so for example, the seller did not send goods or sent you instead of a phone, sent you mineral water, syempre we'll always try to make you whole via the seller, right? Sometimes the issue is also with logistics. So let's say the seller did the right thing. On the logistics side, nadapa, nabangga, napalitan yung item, pagdating sa'yo, bato na, then we can also trace it also on the logistics side, di ba? Sometimes then, I would tell you, on the buyer side, sometimes may issue din dyan. Na meron tayong mga bad actors na sabi, ang nabuksan niya, bato daw, pero totoo, pinadala naman siya ng seller, right? As a platform, one of the nice things about having a digital platform is we actually have in a sense, visibility over the ecosystem, right? From the seller, the logistics to the buyer, right?
Kasi closed loop siya.
Pag merong si DTI, merong lumapit sa amin si DTI, can you tell us what to do about, can you tell us what happened in this circumstance? So we have the ability to actually do risk diligence on saan ba nangyari yan. So, saan ba naging issue yan?
May KYC ba yan for the shop?
Meron yan. So part of the
Like a bank.
is hindi naman as strict as a bank, but meron kaming KYC requirements as to the sellers, right? So and of course, so meron tayong mga starting sellers, meron tayong mga medyo advanced sellers. And again, we have history, right? So if, for example, a buyer is accusing a seller of fraud na mali yung pinadala sa kanya, we have the ability to understand, tong seller na to, legitimate to, 5 years na sa platform, 3 years na sa platform, and wala siyang reklamo ng fraud. So why would the seller suddenly biglang fraud this particular buyer, di ba? Same thing on the other side. Meron din tayong history ng buyer na yung buyer, bibili, isusole. Pag hindi niya nakuha yung pera niya, magrereklamo siya sa DTI. We have the ability to see that. So again, as a platform, we have an ability to have a better appreciation of the big picture. So most of the time, when we talk to the DTI, so meron tayong mediation sa DTI, we would either tell the DTI, naayos na namin kasi nakausap na namin si seller.
Marami ba yan, yung DTI mediation?
I mean, there's when you're doing e-commerce, talagang inevitable naman 'yan, 'di ba? So we have a good working relationship with the DTI. We will tell the DTI when tama si buyer, naayos na namin, or we will also tell the DTI that we recommend that we believe that this seller is engaging in undesirable actions, and we recommend kung gusto niya tuloy niya, pwede niya ituloy, pero kami we feel like we did already our part. So, again, because we know the history of these things. So, the good thing with digital is may history ka niyan. Makikita mo yan, di ba? And hindi mo basta-basta na lang na, a trusted seller will not suddenly defraud people. Their reputations are important to them, di ba? Na yung star rating nila, yung reviews nila, those are all important to them. So, a seller will, as much as possible, do everything within their power, make the buyer right kung meron mga nagkamali, di ba? And again, as a platform, we have the ability to mediate that. So, sabi mo, marami ba yung maabot sa DTI? Siguro maliit lang na percentage. Most of the issues are handled within the platform itself.
And then because our channel also talks about law and legal, what is the contractual legal relationship ng platform? Is it a broker? Is it an agent? Is it a third party? Ano yung relationship? Buyer-seller is simple, dalawang contracting parties. Yung platform, yung question ko na.
Yeah, it's a platform. It's a marketplace. It's again,
Correct.
so
But contractually, ano siya? Is it like a supermarket that displays goods where when you need to return, you have to return it to the market? Or is it like one of these, my pet peeve, bentahan ka ng appliances, TV, pero kung nasira within warranty, nire-refer ka sa malayong service center. Di ba? Ano siya? What is the legal? Because that determines a lot of things eh.
Yeah.
Kung
So-
ano yung legal tie of the platform.
So sticking on the e-commerce side, right? So we do have, so number one, we have the e-commerce law, which is the medyo matagal na yun. But of course, the one of the most recent laws is the Internet Transactions Act. And so with the Internet Transactions Act of 2022, I think, it actually defined the players in the ecosystem, right? And so the platform is a digital platform that facilitates the transaction, right? And so again, every player in the ecosystem has their roles and responsibilities, right? So like you said, yung platform ba siya ba'y nagbenta ng item? Hindi. The platform, again, is a platform where a seller and a buyer can be connected with, right? And so, under the Internet Transactions Act, the platform has its own responsibilities, liabilities and obligations, penal provisions if it reaches that point, right? But again, we stick with that. Ano yung requirement ni Internet Transactions Act sa digital platform? And again, with the DTI, we are governed and regulated by the E-commerce Bureau of the DTI, right? So again, for them, iba rin yung treatment nila sa amin is sa platform. So again, ano yung within our control ba? So they will, pag may issue, they will hold us accountable for the things within our control and hold the buyer, the seller, the logistics for the things that are within their control.
Can you give us a short run out of this mediation? Yung sa DTI, how does it work? Kailan mo magbayad? Application form? Maselan
With the DTI,
ba? O is there corruption? Ano ba yung ano dyan?
Hindi naman. So yan, I would say that a big percentage of any issue that happens on an e-commerce platform is normally it's handled by the platform itself, right? So may issue ka, dumating sa'yo, wrong item, you press a button on the app, you get your money back or you either return the item, right? So, but every once in a while, you have either some contentious issues or some disputed matters, right? So, for example, meron kang buyer na sabi niya, bato yung dumating sa kanya. Pero yung seller, meron siyang video na nirap niya yung phone. Yung logistics, meron siyang video na tama yung
Are
dineliver
they
niya.
required to take videos at each step?
They are encouraged. They are encouraged because it helps eh. Because again, as a seller, as a logistic, it helps you build your own evidence,
kung wala?
diba? Again, when you don't have videos, then we go to secondary means of evidence, right? Again, the reputation of the seller. So again, when you have disputed issues, matters, a buyer can usually go to the DTI and seek recourse, right? And so they go to the DTI, they fill up the form.
Online or?
May online, meron ding in person. Meron silang online mechanism. And then the DTI reviews
Is it working itong online mechanism?
I would say
Sa gobyerno kasi, mabilis magsabi ng online eh. But yun lang, pahirapan pa rin yung online eh.
it works naman. Kasi for example, the mediation process is online. As in literally, you don't need to go to
walang bayad.
Libre lahat. So libre lahat yan, di ba? And so again, the mediation process is...
Baka matagal naman, libre kasi.
I would say scheduling lang naman. Hindi naman sa matagal. In a sense na, okay,
Like if I file a complaint today, day 1, when is my schedule? 3 months? Next week? Next year?
I think within the week. Oh, so pag natanggap nila yan, so kunyari, let's say, today, Tuesday, di ba? Nag-file ka ng complaint. Feeling ko by Thursday, Friday, na-notify na yung platform and yung seller, for example, di ba? And so again, in the mediation, all the parties are given an opportunity to relay what they think. So for example, sabi ni seller, meron akong video, kompleto to, nirap ko and everything, di ba? Si platform naman, we can also opine on what we feel is the facts of the case, right? And then normally on a mediation level, nami-mediate naman. Okay na tayo, di ba? And then either the buyer withdraws the
Anong
complaint.
usual complaints out of 100 cases? Anong usual?
Again, dispute on the items, right? Whether it's a defect, wrong
Defect or
item, wrong item. So yung
Posible ba yan? Wrong item?
yung example ko sa iyo na yung cellphone naging bato. I'm giving you the example because that is a reality
Totoo yun.
that happens that
Hindi ginto, bato.
bato, 'di ba? So parang okay, so it's not new, it's not surprising anymore, 'di ba? So again, in that cellphone naging bato scenario, the platform will try to understand ano ba nangyari dito? Where is the fault, right? Kasi as an example mo, let's say trusted seller talaga to. Been with the platform for 3 years, 5-star rating, good reviews. Malabong maging bato, 'di ba? So you have to understand maybe at the logistics level or what happened at the buyer side, right? And so now if the parties are unable to reach
Like in this case, this live case, actual case, paano na-resolve yan? Yung cellphone naging bato.
So again, iba-iba yan. So I would say
Pinaka-common na ganyan. So maraming cellphone naging bato?
I mean, not bato all the time, but I would say cellphone ang binili and then there's a complaint on what actually arrived, right? So,
na hindi cellphone.
na hindi cellphone. So,
Could be
either,
different models.
naging susi, naging remote control, di ba? So, it can be a mistake lang on, let's say on the easiest level, the seller said, ay, nagkamali lang ako ng wrap. Let me replace it for you. Easy, di ba? That's easy, di ba? But, in the off chance that, there's this percentage of chance na the seller feels talaga na tama pinadala niya, logistics says tama pinadala niya, and let's say our systems indicate bagong buyer lang to or this buyer keeps on returning. Pangatlong cellphone naging baton niya na to. 'Di ba? In our systems, pangatlong cellphone naging baton niya to. Then we will say we are unable to assist. And so again, the DTI in such a case will issue a certification to the buyer, certificate to file action. Kung gusto niya mag-file action, bahala na
for
siya.
20,000 pesos.
Let's say kung 'di ba? So again, it's up to now the buyer in that scenario. Pero yun nga, kung pangatlong cellphone naging bato na niya to, do you think magfa-file action yun? 'Di ba? So may mga ganon, 'di ba? And so we work closely with the DTI with all the partners in the ecosystem, right? With the buyer, with the sellers, logistics, the buyers, with the DTI, diba? We try to be as helpful as we can, but there are moments talaga that you say, sorry, we cannot help. And so again, if DTI gives this buyer, go, you can file action. Tingnan natin kung magfa-file pa siya. It's up to that buyer na.
Some years ago, I was impressed by TikTok because, of course, I'm a TikTok user. And then may napanood akong isang quote-unquote political commentator.
Okay.
No, I will not say hate speech, pero yung mga sinasabi against a political opponent. Ang initial nitong commentator, babae, JM.
Okay.
So, wala na. Yung sinasabi mo, whether rightly or wrongly, may bash ka, wala. It was really, at the minimum, wrong, maximum, vicious. Ganun siya. So what I did, I went to the complaint page on TikTok. It may not have been the perfect kasi meron ka mga section yan. Sexually offensive.
Categories, correct.
So I picked the closest one. Okay. This is the actual story. So because I feel na if I'm a watcher community, dapat kasama ka ron eh. Correct. Hindi ka naman nag all the time. Isa lang. Correct. That's only one account. Correct. Because I felt strongly about that. So submit. And then acknowledge, ganyan yan. But the first line that I was thinking on the category, hindi siya nakamatch doon sa exactly what I was looking for.
Okay.
So that's one. But I don't know kung dahil doon or somewhere else kasi you want to add your voice. Kung maraming similar nagko-complain, the chances na may problema yung account is higher kasi mag-isa ka lang. That's my thinking sa algorithm. Okay. Kung maraming nagreklamo. True enough, after, I don't know kung weeks or months, nawala yung account. Okay. When I search for it, nawala na. So for me, kasi lumalabas sa feed ko eh. Kasi when I looked, as a lawyer, tinitingnan pa yung sinasabi. So that I was thinking, naging engagement. So lumalabas yung mga sinasabi na several videos, several interests, several commentators. Lumalabas na based on the discussion that we had.
Correct.
So lumalabas, but nawala na. So I said, okay tong TikTok, at least responsive because I also hear of stories. Facebook, others na parang talking to a wall. Reklamo ka, tumawag ka na, nag-email ka na, and then a lot of this, quote-unquote, feeling mo arbitrariness. You've been locked out of your account, please, XXYY. Then you do email, you do that, pero wala. Parang no. And then, surprisingly, after a few months, lumabas ulit.
Okay.
But this one, not under the principal account, ibang account.
Gumawa siya ng bago.
Gumawa siya ng bago.
Okay.
So, ulit, you had to repeat the process, ganyan. So, nawala na naman. Then the third time. But this time, totally unrelated to the first two accounts.
Okay.
For example, 1, 2. This time, 10 na siya.
Okay.
So, officially, ang nakapronta, kaibigan, pusa, pet, whatever it is.
Okay.
Pero nako-comment pa rin siya. So, how do you address this kind of situation? You're trying to game the system. You're trying to that. And I think this commentator realizes, kasi maraming followers eh. Maraming, di ba? Ganyan yung echo chamber na yes, yung hinahanap mo yung same with the one we talked earlier. Ganun siya eh. So, alam niya, siguro nag-research din. So, ginagame yung system sa ganyan.
Okay.
What is this approach naman dito?
Okay. So, himayin natin yung situation, right? So, number one, let's start with the community guidelines and the enforcement mechanisms, right? So, si
Yung when you
TikTok,
sign up, you agree to the terms and conditions.
that's terms and conditions, but at the same time, of course, we have community guidelines on what we allow and do not allow on the platform.
Which you also,
In a sense, all creators agree to that, right? In a sense,
even without,
it's part of the terms. It's part of the terms of service, right? So when you sign up to the platform, you agree to the terms of service, and basically that's community guidelines is part of the terms of service, right? So for example, just basic example, hate speech. So if you post hate speech, the community guidelines expressly prohibits that, and then if you do that, then your account there's several actions that can be taken on your account, right? So it can be the content is removed. That's one thing. On some instances, the content will not be allowed on the For You feed. On the kumbaga, the algorithm will not recommend that piece of content, right? And of course, the most extreme case is termination of the account.
as in
The
ban.
account is just, yeah, in a sense, ban or
yeah.
the account ceases to exist, right? That's the most extreme case, right? Now, on a termination of an account scenario, there's also different types, right? So for example, were you
Wait,
terminated?
Before you go to termination, may tinatawag ba due process yan? May notice ba? Or basta, boom, wala ka ng access, lockout ka na?
There is an appeal mechanism.
Pero
So
before the appeal, wala nang sinasabi, you're given X number of days warned. Don't do this, don't do that. It's a violation. May
good
ganyan
question.
ba?
Good question.
Before
So
ka
may strike system.
Ah,
So hindi naman tuloy-tuloy, hindi naman agad-agad na strike unless grievous talaga yung content mo. Hindi ka namin bibigyan ng one strike. The content, the channel will
Tama
be,
naman.
'di ba? So again, merong strike system, merong appeal mechanism, pero walang hearing, 'di ba? In a sense, hindi naman to na somebody has accused your content to be hate speech. What
Well,
is your
you get
evidence?
notified in
you
your
get
TikTok
you get
account.
notified when action is taken on your you won't get notified if somebody reported your content. But once action is taken, let's say the content was taken down from the platform, copyright violation, the music was removed, for example, you get notified, diba? And then you can
After
appeal.
the fact.
After the fact, diba? So yun yung due process. And ultimately, again, you can appeal if you feel like, teka lang, original song ko to, binigyan mo ko ng copyright strike. You can appeal that, diba? And then of course, you'll get
That's interesting,
notified.
no? Because the appeal process happens after affected ka na, prejudice ka na. Sana merong proseso na, especially kung yung mga soft, quote-unquote, violations, dapat sinasabi na, wait, may chance ka muna to take it down, to remove it, or to clarify.
There are some violations that are like that. There's some violations that are like that. Na in a sense, para ka may warning, sabi mo nga, di ba? Para ka may warning. There's some violations that are like that. Again, depending on the violation, right?
Okay.
But again, if you're uploading CSAM material, walang magwa-warning sa'yo, automatic tatanggalin ka, di ba?
Tama naman.
So, again, going back to your question, circumvention, di ba? So, if there are accounts, if there are users na, let's say, itong account niya, hate speech, di ba? Let's say, meron siya, nire-report siya ng mga tao for hate speech or, let's say, yung, again, more on what he says, di ba? Now, this user, again, from your example, pag na-terminate yung account niya, try niya mag-create ng new channel, new account, and then maybe baka pwede. Sabi mo, yung tatlong beses, iniba na niya yung format, di ba? So
May
parang,
ibang tao nakaharap,
tong account na to, iba na so ayan, di ba? So,
pero siya pa rin nagsasalita.
so ganyan, because ang na-terminate naman doon, ang inaction na naman doon is yung particular account na yon, di ba? But again, I would say na there are some circumventions that we will not allow. So for example, fraud. Fraud. Nagfo-fraud ka, gumawa ka ng account, humingi ka ng pera sa mga tao, tapos may nagpapadala sa'yo, nagpapa-Gcash ka ng pera, di ba? Tapos tinerminate namin yung account mo. Hindi ka naman namin papayagan gumawa ng unlimited number of accounts because, teka lang, fraudster to, delikado to, di ba? So again, depende rin dun sa reason for your termination or the action taken on your account. Mag-iiba-iba rin yung kinds of penalties and the kinds of security measures we will put in place to prevent a circumvention, for example.
And then, which goes back to our last topics. Fake news. Do we do fact check? Do we do censorship? Of course, censorship by itself is not a good thing from a free speech Philippine perspective. Pero meron bang tinitin muna bago lumabas yung hate speech or ganyan? What is the mechanism for this? And kung lumabas na, paano? What is the platform's reply or response.
Okay. So let's take that one by one, right? So number one, at TikTok, we prohibit harmful misinformation.
So dapat harmful
Let's get,
at
because not all
misinformation.
kinds of misinformation are harmful, right? So
Kung
for example,
misinformation, okay lang.
mag-post ako ng content, birthday mo today. Araw-araw, di ba? I mean, reklamo mo, fake news yan. But it's not harmful. Sabi ko, birthday ni Indy today. It's not harmful, di ba? Pero pag sinabi ko, post ako ng content na sabi ni Pag-asa, may bagyo daw parating mamaya and
So that
magtago na tayo
determines
lahat.
whether harmful or not.
So number one, at the end of the day, when it comes to community guidelines namin, we do have a team. So in every community guideline, meron kang team of experts dyan. Meron kang, in a sense, hate speech, may sariling team. Harmful misinformation, may sariling team. Child safety, may sariling team, di ba? So yung team na yon ang mag-assess, right? Ang mag-assess kung harmful misinformation, right? And again, there are some that are easier to say that they are harmful than others. For example, election misinformation.
Ayun.
May election sa Bangsamoro. Tapos sabi mo ang election sa December. Automatically harmful election misinformation 'yon. So
So
madali 'yon.
tao ang magche-check niyan or
In such a case, kaya ng AI yan eh. Kasi for example, the elections in Bangsamoro is on December 5, which is again factually easily verifiable wrong. So kaya ng AI yan, 'di ba? Pero pag sinabi mo yung meron mga kinds of misinformation na kailangan mo ng understanding, ano ba yung sinasabi niya, ano ba yung context nung sinabi niya, 'di ba? So pag sinabi nila yung elections is not gonna be in Bangsamoro anymore, it's gonna be here in Cebu na, nilipat na. Medyo mahirap yung ma-detect sa AI, pero you as a user, pwede mong i-flag yon. This is misinformation.
kaya ba yan humanly?
Again, combination yan. Violations it's always a combination of there's AI, yung mga mas madadali. Let's say normally pag may visual material na let's say may alcohol, may sisam material, may weapon, may
Bawal lang
dangerous.
mag-alcohol?
Hindi, kunyari lang, pag may alcohol yung content mo, kailangan age gate natin yon. So yung content mo,
Yossi.
umiinom ka, Yossi, age
So
natin
all the
yon.
same product.
Correct. So yun, madali yan i-AI. So kung yung content mo, parati ka nagsisigarilyo, umiinom ng alak dun sa piece of content mo, sa channel mo, magiging yung content mo, hindi yan isa-serve sa mga users natin between 13 to 17.
Just that or the account? Or just the content?
That pieces of content, right? So the system will say, hindi ito pang bata. Hindi ito pang bata.
Paano kung nakita na yung first view bago na flag?
What do you mean? Kasi
Yung Yossi
at the upload level pa lang. So at TikTok, at the upload level,
So never siya.
your content is already classified. So meaning to say,
Pag-upload
at
pa
the
lang.
upload level, so try mo, so when you're uploading to TikTok, pag ina-upload yung video mo, so the first is the technical uploading. After that, hindi agad-agad nagre-reflect sa channel mo yan.
So may
There
naman
is a
screening.
period wherein the content goes through automated screenings. So again, number one, is it CSAM?
Di ba censorship yan?
I don't think it's censorship in a sense because it's content moderation. It's part of all platforms. All platforms do content moderation, right?
Is that what you call fact-checking?
Again, wala pa tayo dyan. Okay, I'll go there, di ba? So again, at the upload level, there's already classifiers to allow us. For example,
Tao.
is this CSAM? If yes, don't let it be seen, right? Is there alcohol? Yes? Okay, this is not for kids. Right? So, kung yung content mo ay may nagiinuman ng alak, hindi yan papakita sa 17-year-old na nagti-TikTok. Diba?
Pero
Kasi
ma-upload pa rin.
ma-upload mo pa rin. Pero nga, kumbaga, age-gated na yan, di ba? Okay, punta tayo ngayon. So again, on the upload level, there's content classifiers already. Napunta tayo sa fact-checking. At TikTok, ang fact-checking partner namin is si AFP, Agence France Presse. Right? So that's our main partner.
Isa lang.
Isa lang kami, isa lang. So at the Philippines to. So when content is disputed,
Wait, sorry. AFP French.
that's the Agence France Presse. They're a global entity but they're based in France, I think.
So bakit French ang partner natin for Philippine facts? Di ba dapat Philippine?
Again, in the fact-checking community, you have your global partners. You have sometimes some platforms have local partners. What we've seen, for example, in a legislative hearing, nagrereklamo yung mga congressmen na may bias daw yung local partners, 'di ba? So on the TikTok side, in order to reduce the risks of bias, our main partner for the Philippines is AFP.
Sadya yan.
It's a choice. It's a choice that we've made, right? And so
Kung hindi AFP, sino pa?
there's many members of the fact-checking community, right? I mean, there's
marami.
local partners.
So pwedeng multiple.
Again, it's a choice. It's a choice you can make. Some platforms
And these are
have
paid.
There are agreements in place. There are agreements in
Pero
place.
bayad sila. They are our quote-unquote partner, but bayad sila. They're paid to fact check.
You're not paying them to fact check, but I think there's some supporting agreements in place, right? So for example, if they decide not to fact check something, that's up to them.
Huh?
Hindi
Pwede ba
sila
yan?
hindi sila call center na para mo siyang you're asking them to fact check everything. So the decision to fact check or not is still up to the partner. And again,
Out
that's
na yung TikTok dyan.
in a sense, again, we're partners, right? But if, again, as a partner, if they feel like that's too minor for us to fact check, it's their call. It's their call,
Magandang
right? So,
tingnan natin yan, Padre, yung kanina agreement, because that goes straight to the liability issues eh. Di ba? Kung that's outsourced ba ang tawag niyan? Is it outsourced?
I wouldn't say so
fact-checking?
because normally when you say outsourced, that's, again, we have a booming business processing outsourcing industry in the Philippines, right? It's partnership eh. It's partnership, right? So for example,
Partnership,
pag
but it's
kumukonsulta ako sa civil society partners ko, hindi ko naman ina-outsource yung trabaho sa kanila, but because they're the experts in the field, sila yung sasabihin ko, anong advice mo dito, di ba?
It's
Same thing with
interesting lang yung, but you get my question, no? Interesting lang that na binigay mo it's in a partnership to do the fact checking. But for them, they don't have to do all the fact checking. So ang next question ko diyan, paano sila pipili or pumili?
Again, so that's a good question for fact checkers, and I think in your future episodes you should have fact checkers because I've heard them answer these questions in Senate, in Congress, but of course I cannot speak for them, right? So of course,
Yeah, let's do the AFP. Interesting yan.
from what I've heard, of course, they have parameters such as relevance. Relevant ba to? For
AI din yan.
No, fact checkers are people. Like again,
mahal
because
yan.
these are people, 'di ba? So yung relevance, importance, dangerousness. Again, so for example, if sabi ko lang birthday mo today, pinapa-fact check ng mga syempre AFP will not, like, that's not relevant, has no impact whatsoever, right? But if I'm making a claim of, let's say, according to Indy, ito ang policy ng gobyerno, tapos hindi naman totoo, then
Sako
it
mo
could
ba
be...
all of this, partners, under government policy? Is it part of your mandate? Ito lahat, yung pinag-usapan natin ngayon?
Yes and no, right? Of course, knowing the policies, engaging with the government, explaining it to the government, that's part of my mandate, right? But of course, when it comes to the content moderation review, that's under a team called, globally, it's known naman as Trust and Safety. Alam naman yun. So the Trust and Safety team, that is the team that does the content moderation review, policies, the partnership, sinong fact checker ang partner, diba? So yun yung Trust and Safety team yan.
Spying in the Philippines. Similar to yung tinatawag nila spying ng TikTok sa Amerika. Issue ba yan dito?
I don't think so.
Wala.
Naman. I mean, in
Never
any legislative, since I've joined the company, that's never been brought up naman.
But is it a legitimate concern because of the ownership of TikTok by ByteDance, a China-based company? Similar to what happened in the US and elsewhere. Naging issue ba yan?
So, couple of things, right? So, number one, our headquarters is in Singapore, right? Our headquarters is in
Domicile.
Singapore. Our main HQ, I visit to Singapore all the time. When it comes to data centers, it's in Singapore, US, Malaysia, and Ireland, I think. So in terms of where the data sits, it's in those places, right? And of course, as a company, we've gone through our share of questions, criticism, inquiries, right? And so I think we are at this point right now na overcome na natin yung mga initial doubts and questions, and
As a company, globally.
as a company and as a platform, right? In a sense that it's those issues were, I would say, maybe 5 years ago, that was hot topic. Ngayon, when I deal with Congress, the issues are about youth safety, misinformation, and basically protecting our users, protecting Filipinos from scams, diba? And so I'm happy that we've matured as a company and grown up na hindi na yan yung mga issues na hinaharap namin sa Kongreso.
It's similar to those quote-unquote mature platforms. Hindi na ganun. What's next for TikTok? Parang boyabunda question yan.
Definitely, I would say Visayas Mindanao. Visayas Mindanao is our key priority.
You mean yung reach?
Yes. So, in terms of both TikTok and TikTok Shop, malakas na tayo sa Metro Manila and sa Luzon. It's important that we are able to develop the next creators in Visayas and Mindanao. It's important we're able to develop the next sellers, to be able to allow a seller in Davao to be able to sell his or her products to a buyer in Luzon. That's what's our focus area for H2 this year. Talagang Visayas and Mindanao.
So it's an expansion issue. But in terms of quote unquote directionally, not geographic, the future of the company, ano yung horizontal or vertical, what is next?
So of course I can't share with that. I can't share the future plans. So definitely,
sorry.
we'll be
Let me
happy to
rephrase.
share with
In
you
the-
once
in the-
we launch it, once we
In the
announce it.
future plans, it's more like direction. Is it just about getting bigger, reaching more people? Is there a next iteration? Is there a next act for TikTok?
Yeah, I would say let's go back to Visayas and Mindanao talaga. Na we already are quite, the platform is already quite widely used in the country. And for example, in Visayas, may mga nagtitiktok na dyan. Pero yung creator ecosystem, kailangan pa nating tutukan, i-develop. Yung seller ecosystem, kailangan pa nating tutukan, develop. We have this thing called the partner ecosystem. Talagang, I was in Tacloban a month ago, and again, just showing up is already a big thing for them. Na pag pinakita mo na andun kayo, it's already a big thing. And of course, our investments, we've said this a couple of weeks ago in our statements to our partners, the media, Visayas and Mindanao is our priority area, this H2 especially. Thank you.
Thank you, partner, for coming us. And then, personally, for me, it's a validation kasi, as I said, mga 4 or 5 years ago, I had this encounter relating to the 2022 elections. And I found it not responsive on TikTok. And then I had that concern nga on the echo chamber. But it's good to know that I also experienced that once in a while may tinatawag na curveball.
Yeah.
So what
That's
you're
part of
saying
it.
is experiential. It's validation. And then in terms of the future, of course, maraming platform. And also, maybe in the next episodes, we're trying to do a series, yung mga open-ended, a bit more technical, a bit more maybe insightful.
Yan, yung fact-checking.
Mga ganyan.
That's good
Baka
to,
pwede natin yan. Because the only way to create is at least foundational, to be informationally correct. Yun man na yun eh. Kung hindi mo makuha yung basic, mahirap magtungtong sa ingenuity, innovation, yung, kung hindi mo kuha yung platform of tamang facts, tamang issues. But thank you for your time today.
Of course, anytime.